Alright, welcome back to Schola Progenium. So, just like last time, we're going to be going over the mission TAC Ops. This video's TAC Op is going to be going over Seek and Destroy. And before we dive in, I just want to talk about Seek and Destroy because I think this faction archetype, or this TAC Op archetype, wins the award for Most Improved of 2022. This archetype is arguably probably the best archetype in the game now. The TAC Ops are really fun to use. I think they work well with the teams that want to take Seek and Destroy because they're really focused on killing stuff, and the teams that are taking that are typically teams that are good at killing stuff, right? All right, so let's jump in. So once again, I explained this in my previous video, but I'll go over it again in all of the videos. So how to choose TAC Ops has changed, right? So previously you were selecting from a deck of 6 TAC Ops, randomly pulling out 2 at a time and choosing one, and then repeating until you have 3. So now you take your archetype. So let's say you have like Security and Seek and Destroy, for example. You choose one of those. You don't have to tell your opponent until you reveal TAC Ops. You choose one of those archetypes. So, for example, in this situation, Seek and Destroy, right? You then combine your faction TAC Ops with those, and out of those 9 cards, you select 3. Of those 3, only one can be a faction TAC Ops. You can't select more than one faction TAC Op now, which is a big deal. And then all the others have to be the archetype that you chose. So it's a huge deal. I talked about it in my previous video. There's a lot of factions that really like taking multiple TAC Ops, like Pathfinders and Void Dancers come to mind, Vet Guard, Blooded. There's a lot of them that really like multiple TAC Ops. So this is a huge blow to those teams. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive into this. So first of all, Executioner. So reveal this TAC Op in the target reveal step of any turning point. When you do so, select one friendly operative to be your executioner. At the end of the target reveal step, select one enemy operative to be executed for the turning point. If the enemy operative you selected to be executed for the turning point is incapacitated by your executioner during the same turning point, you score 1 victory point. If you do it again, you score another. So this is like a weird combination of execution and challenge, which I think is actually a better version of both of those. So basically, you select somebody on your team. Actually, it's a combination of Deadly Marksman too. It's like 3 TAC Ops in one. You select somebody on your teams, like this guy is going to go kill that guy, right? And if you do it, then you score 1 point. And if you do it again, you score another victory point. I think this is so good. So logically, you're going to put this on a gunner, and you're just going to have that guy go, okay, well, I know I'm getting first turn, so I'm going to, or first activation, so I'm going to have this guy declare, some guy who's like out in the middle on an objective. That guy I'm going to kill with my gunner. And you just go and you're like, I'm going to overcharge my plasma gun and blow this guy up. And if you're like me, you'll probably roll 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. And you'll get pissed off and you'll CP roll and get 3 6s. Yeah, this is so good. I can't even begin to tell you. It's probably the best. It's probably the best one out of this group. All right. Next is Route. So reveal this TAC Op. I don't think Route has changed. No, it hasn't changed. I thought possibly they might remove within 6 of your drop zone and change it to territory, but it looks like they kept the 6 in the drop zone. So Route's the same. It's an okay TAC Op. It's good for aggressive teams. Like Harlequins and Intercessors come to mind with this, and I think for teams that are aggressive, it's solid. All right, Robin Ransack. Reveal this TAC Op when in... Yep, this hasn't changed either. So these are both really good. Yep. All right, eliminate guards. Reveal this tack op in the target reveal step of any turning point. Once you do so, at the end of each target reveal step, select an objective marker on the center line or within your opponent's territory, then select one operative within 2 inches of it to be the guard for the turning point. If you kill that guy, score a point. If you achieve the condition again on a following turn, score another point. So this is kind of the same as Executioner. Basically, you're going to be looking at these objectives. So here's your center line, right? Here's your opponent's territory. So you're picking like an objective here or here or here or here, or, you know, likewise on the other maps. And you're just saying, I'm going to kill that guy this turn. Yeah, really solid one. I think it's slightly worse than Executioner, but still very good. I think Executioner is better than this one just because Executioner doesn't require you to choose enemy operatives that are on the objective points. So this one I think is a little bit easier to wield than this one because, you know, if your opponent has like a guy who's engaged out in the middle of nowhere versus a guy who's like behind heavy cover on an objective, obviously the guy in the middle of nowhere is going to be easier to kill, right? All right. So moving on, Headhunter. Headhunter is not changed. Headhunter is garbage. You should never take Headhunter. You didn't take it before. You're not taking it now. Forget this exists. All right. Let's move on. Assassinate target. You must reveal this target or attack op in the target reveal step at the first turning point. Your opponent selects one of their operatives. If the operative's incapacitated, you score 2 victory points. At the end of battle, if it has not been incapacitated but has fewer than half of its wounds, you score 1. So this is kind of a weird one. I think I'm trying to think if you would ever want to take this. If you're playing against an elite team like Space Marines, I think this is okay to take, but I think it's still risky because when you have tac ops like this, you're putting 2 points in your opponent's hands, right? And it's like, oh, well, you know, they even if they have an elite team, like, you know, they still, I'm going to be getting that 2 points because there's only 6 guys on my opponent's team. So it's a really good one to take. It's like, okay, I kind of agree with that argument. However, my problem is like, let's say you're fighting an intercessor team, right? And it's like, okay, cool. So they have to pick one of the 6 models. Are you really killing 6 intercessors? Ask yourself that question. Because most of the time when I'm fighting an elite team like intercessors or Space Marines or whatever, I'm not tabling them. I'll probably kill like 3 or 4 of them throughout the battle, but it's pretty damn hard to kill 6 intercessors, especially when it's put on the gunner in the back, hiding in their deployment zone, that's like popping out, shooting twice, or like shooting twice behind obscuring, or popping out, shooting, and then popping back behind cover. So I don't like this. I think it's playable, but I just think there's just better options with Seek and Destroy. So I'm going to give this a pass because I don't like it. So your Seek and Destroy options are as follows. So I think you're going to want to go, assuming you want 2, you're going to want Executioner and Robin Ransack. I think this is your default pick for Seek and Destroy. I think these are really solid. Robin Ransack, it's like super, super easy to get 1 point on. It's a little bit more difficult to get 2 points, but I think if you play carefully and you play smart, you can get 2 points pretty consistently with Robin Ransack. Executioner, I think, is the best tac op in this archetype, and I think you should always take it. Alternatively, you could take Eliminate Guards. I don't think you want to take both of these because I think I feel like it's just too easy for your opponent to deny this. So that's why I don't like this one. I think this one, your opponent does have counterplay to it. However, you can pick operatives that are put out of position, right? If you're if your operative has, God, I can't speak. If your opponent has an operative that's like super far deployed forward, like let's say this guy just like ran all the way in, and your drop zone's like right here. It's like you go, okay, cool, Executioner, I'm gonna kill this guy this turn, and you just kill him. Now, yes, you have to specifically kill him with a specific operative, but I think that's a lot easier to achieve because you just pick somebody who's good at killing people. It's like, all right, I'll take my plasma gunner. I'll make sure this guy dies from my plasma gunner. That's fine, you know? Or I take an assault intercessor and I just run in and just carve his face in. I don't think this is a bad tac op, but I think Executioner is better than Eliminate Guards. Okay. And then Route, I think you could kind of sub in Route for Robin Ransack. I think this is a perfectly reasonable tac op selection to take, like Route and Robin Ransack. This is very uninteractive from your opponent's side, because Routes just kill stuff close to your opponent's deployment zone. You're gonna score that. They're always gonna have somebody back there. And then Robin Ransack is just, you know, kill a guy and then keep that guy alive. So I think all of these are fine, but I think if you're taking Executioner or Eliminate Guards, you don't take the other, and then you take one of these, whichever you think is good, or you take both of these. So you have quite a bit of flexibility here. If you're playing a faction that has shit tac ops for some reason, I think you probably run this. If you're playing a faction that for some reason has shit tac ops and isn't good at melee, you'll run this, but I think this is not a good combination. So, yeah, that's going to be it for Seek and Destroy. It's a really good faction tac op deck. It's really fun to use. And you're going to consistently get good tac ops with these because you don't have to take this garbage. So, yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. We're going to be talking about Infiltration next.